Don't all. In previous lecture, we discussed about the that is a sexual reproduction, that is a fertilization, then development after the fertilization, that is the zygote formation, then embryo formations, and organogenesis. Now, last second point of this our lecture is the alternation of the generation. Now, in Silegenala or in Pteridophyte, how alternation of the generation take place. Now we can see in this topic. We should know that that is a megasporophile, microsporophile. This megasporophile consists of the microsporangia. This megasporophile contains megasporangia. Then inside this megasporangia, megaspores are present. Inside the microsporangia are present. We should know that the what is this. Okay, as you see the genetically, as you see the number of the chromosome inside this megasporophile and a microsporophile having 2n, that means they are diploid in nature. These both are the megasporophile and microsporophils are diploid in nature. Diploids means that is this consists of 2n number. This consists of the 2n number. But when the in the in megaspore mother cell and microspores mother cells are present inside, when their meiosis will be the form, they form the haploid spore. They form the haploid spores. When meiosis take place, that is meiosis means it is a reductional division. When meiosis take place, this diploid converted into the haploid. Therefore, the resulting spores formation is the haploid in nature. That means they consist of the half number of the chromosome. Therefore, it is a haploids. Now, microspores and megaspores both are the haploids in nature. We know that when they shaded or they are present in the sporangia, they get germinate and they form the male gametophyte and female gametophyte. These male gametophyte and female gametophytes are the haploids, okay, and they form the particularly gametophytic this form the particularly gamete, that is known as the anthrozoids, and inside the female gametophyte archegonia are present, and inside this archegonia egg are present. When these n that is anthrozoids, haploids, and this egg is also haploid, when fused together and they form the zygote, resulting zygote is a diploid. This resulting zygote is a diploid. From this zygote they form the embryo, which also diploids. When these from this, then again they form the sporophytic structure. From this embryo they form shoot, root, okay, leaves, and these are the sporophytic plant body is the 2 ends. Likewise, then this sporophytic plant body again from the haploid spores. Likewise, this alternation will be the continue from diploid, there from haploid, haploid from the diploid. This is the alternation of generation. That is means the gametophytic phase comes under the sporophytic phase, and sporophytic phase again comes under the gametophytic stage. This circular structure, this is the known as the alternation of the generation. Okay, you know that the basic of the alternation of generation in many lecture I told that. Now we can see the theoretically all the concept. In the life history of Pteridophyte, there are two generation. Diploid or sexual. That is when you see that the sporophytic plant body, which are the diploid, this form the asexual generation. They form the spores. This is known as asexual generation. It is called as the sporophyte. And haploid sexual generation, and the haploid sexual reproduction take place in the male and female gametophyte, which are the haploid. This is called as the gametophytic plant body. This is known as the gametophyte. Sporophytic, what is meant by sporophyte, what is meant the gametophyte, you know that. Sporophyte produce gametophyte. You know that the sporophyte produce gametophyte through the spores. Sporophytic plant body from the spores, the spore germinate, and from the gametophyte. The sporophyte from the gametophyte through the asexual reproduction. That is the asexual reproduction means that is by the formation of the spores. Therefore, we call it as the sporophyte produce gametophyte through the asexual reproduction, and gametophyte produce sporophyte through the sexual reproduction, and gametophyte produce sporophyte, and gametophyte produce sporophyte. When male gamete, female gamete fuse together, they form the zygote, resulting into the formation of embryo, and embryo will be the form the organogenesis, and they form the sporophytic plant body of the Silagenella. Therefore, we call as the gametophyte produce sporophyte through the sexual reproduction, because there is a fusion of anthrozoids and egg take place. As these two generation produce other alternatively. These two generations are produced alternatively. That is when first is the sporophytic phase, second is the gametophytic phase. After the gametophytic stage, sporophytic stage will be the come. This is known as the produce the other alternatively. The diploid generation alternate with haploid generation. That means that the diploid generations comes after the haploid generation. The diploid generation, this diploid generation alternates with haploid generations. Hence, this process called as the alternation of the generation. Therefore, this process is known as the alternation of generation. That means the haploid generations come diploid generation, and then diploid generation comes haploid generations. This is known as the alternation of the generation. You know that. Okay. Now, the life history of Selaginella show the plant possesses two generations. As you see the life history of this Selaginella, this life history of Selaginella show that the plant possesses through two generations. This plant possesses two generations with regularly alternate with each other. The plant itself is the sporophyte. This plant is itself sporophyte, and the two prothelli, male and female, are the gametophyte. Okay, you are looking those plant of the Selaginella. This is the sporophytic plant. Okay, they bear the microsporophyll, megasporophyll, and they consist of the megasporangia, microsporangia, and they consist of the megaspore and microspores. This plant, every plant you looking, that is from the pteridophyte, gymnosperms, angiosperms, these are the sporophytic plant, and this sporophyte produces asexually by the two kind of spores. Okay, and these sporophytes are the reproduced asexually by the two kinds of spores. This sporophytic plant reproduce asexually and from two kind of the spore, that is microspores and megaspores. We know that these microspores and megaspores, which give rise to, when these microspores and megaspores get germinated, they form the male gametophyte and female gametophyte. 1 minute. Okay, female prothallus respectively. The male prothallus, you know that this male prothallus bears the antherozoids in their antheridium, and female prothallus bear the egg cell in the archegonium. And the two gametophyte reproduces sexually, and they from the sexually fuse together. These two gamete giving rising to the sporophyte again. We know that when the antherozoids and eggs when they get fused together, they form the zygote. Resulting zygotes will be the divided, de-divided and differentiated, and from the embryo. And when organogenesis take place in the embryo, they will be the form root, shoot and leaves, and they again from the sporophytic plant body. The two gametes fuse together and give rise to the oospore. Okay, they from the zygote, it is known as also oospore. The oospore is beginning, 1 minute. The oospore is the beginning of the sporophytic generation. Formation of the zygote is the beginning of the sporophytic generation, because 2n chromosomes are met with the first time in the oospore, and all the stages from the oospore, the spore's mother cell, represent the sporophytic generations. Okay, inside the zygote there are 2n chromosomes are met with the for the first time in the oospore, and all the stages from the oospore to the spore's mother cell represent the sporophytic generation. From there the oospore, from the zygote to the formation of the spore mother cell. It is important concept, that is spore mother cells. Okay, this spore's mother cell also diploid in nature. From the zygote to the spore's mother cell, sporophytic generation. That means that these are the 2n generation. But in the spore mother cell, meiosis take place, and they form the microspores and megaspores. When they form from these microspores and megaspores, again gametophytic stage will be the form. Reduction division take place in the formation of the spores. The spores will be the formed by the process of the reductional division. So all the stages from the spores, that is micro and mega, to the gamete within chromosome represent the gametophytic generation. From the formation of the spores to the formation of the gametophyte, this stage known as the gametophytic generations. Now diagrammatically we can see the alternation of generation in the Selaginella. You know that there is a three types of the reproduction, that is the first is the vegetative, second is the asexual, and third is the sexual reproduction. Now we remembering that the vegetative reproduction type, that is this will be take place by the fragmentation, this will be take place by the dormant bud, then the formation of the bulbil and the formation of the tubers. you know that these 4 types of the vegetative reproduction in the Selaginella. That means from the parent point body they form the again parental plant body by the formation of tuber, bulbil, dormant bud and fragmentation. That means this circle, that is a circle will be the create from the vegetative reproduction. Then importance is the that is asexual reproductions. Okay, Selaginella, this is strobulus. Okay, here is a mistake in the book. There will be the from strobulus. This strobulus is a 2n, this strobulus also 2n. Okay, this megasporophyll is 2n, this is the 2n, megasporangium is 2n, this megasporangium also 2n. Okay, then this megaspore mother cell, this is also 2n, microspore mother cell is a 2n. Okay, this is the sporophytic phase, that is a diploid. These megaspore mother cell and microspore mother cells are diploid in nature. Then here meiosis will be the take place, then meiosis will be the form. Meiosis take place in also germ cells which are the diploid. When meiosis take place, okay, this meiosis is a reductional division. In reductional division 2n is converted into the n. Meiosis take place in megaspores mother cell and microspores mother cell. They from the megaspore, they from the microspores. When these megaspore germinate, when these microspore germinate, megaspore germinate, they from the female gametophyte, microspore germinate, they from the male gametophyte, which are the haploids. These female gametophyte from the archegonium, which are haploid, they from the anthrozoids, which are the haploid. Okay, these from egg, they from the anthrozoids. When they fuse together, that is egg and anthrozoids, they from the zygote resulting into formation of the embryo. This embryo give the young sporophyte, and this is the stage is known as the sexual reproduction, and then young sporophyte converted into Selaginella. Okay, this is the about the alternation of generation in the Selaginella. Okay, in next lecture we see the economical importance of the pteridophyte